Well, it's a pleasure to talk about the organ at Lake Delaware Boys Camp to all of the friends and supporters of LDBC. The organ at Lake Delaware Boys Camp is certainly one of the greatest treasures that the camp has. And in other parts of this video presentation, you'll hear the history of it, which makes it probably a very valuable and rare organ in America. But to Lake Delaware Boys Camp, its value is in the lives of the young people who are a part of the camp. The young people start their day, our campers, every day at camp begins with the chapel service and the beautiful sounds of the organ. Every weekend with the incomparably beautiful Lake Delaware Boys Camp solemn sung evensong service. And the organ exposes the boys to the beauty of holiness. And it's something we know that touches their lives, and men throughout their lifetimes tell us the spiritual formation that they received at Lake Delaware Boys Camp, undergirded by the beautiful sounds of that organ, just changed their lives for their whole life. So I hope that all of us will pull together and save and maintain this priceless treasure so that future generations of boys to come can have the beauty that we all have had the privilege of at camp. Thank you so much.
I've been chaplain at the Lake Delaware Boys Camp for around 45 years, and that means for many summers I've been here in this chapel in the presence of this organ. And one that is a beautiful one. It's very unique, and its history is very interesting. It started out as a house organ at the home of Commodore Elbridge Gerry. He had it installed by Hilburn Roosevelt in 1876, and it was enlarged in 1886. And then, when the camp was moved to this present location, this organ of Elbridge Gerry was moved to this spot in probably the spring of 1912, and it's been used, been in constant use since then. It's a wonderful instrument. I'm happy to have heard it. We've had wonderful organists who have played here, and I hope that all of you will support its restoration.
The bellows provide the organ with the wind that it needs to sound. Over the years, the wood and the leather of the instrument have deteriorated vastly. Some of the leather is still original to the instrument. It's put in over 100 years of service. That's well past retirement by any reasonable standard. You can see over here the overlay of old leather upon new leather. As pieces have had to be replaced over the years, the older leather has begun to crack quite severely and will probably form many more holes in the near future if not repaired. You can see here that one of the patches that was put on last summer is already beginning to come off. This is because the new leather does not bond perfectly with the old leather. Rather, it expands and contracts at different rates with the changing of the seasons. All of these patches and all of this decay means that the instrument loses a lot more wind than it needs to. So the work that the boys put in every morning in Mass is much more difficult than it has to be. Probably about half of the wind they put into the instrument gets wasted because of air leaks. You can see how quickly the air goes away after it's put into the instrument. Every year, after the campers and staff leave LDBC, other life forms take up residence. Many rodents find their home inside the organ case during the winter months. They leave nests and droppings behind them, often on top of the wooden trackers that control the keys for the hands and feet of the organist. These nests and droppings often break the wooden trackers or make them very difficult to move. Part of the restoration will be a thorough cleaning of the instrument and a thorough repair of all the trackers that have been broken and mangled during the years due to rodent overuse. Some of the pipes in the organ are tuned using metal scrolls. Because the metal of the pipes is so malleable, over time these scrolls are broken or seriously damaged. Sometimes the metal around the scrolls is also bent out of shape. Eventually, with overuse, some of the scrolls have been replaced with cloth tape that simulates their function. In other cases, even duct tape has been used to set the pitch of the pipe. During the restoration, these pipes will all be rebuilt with fresh scrolls. We're now inside the organ chamber, where most of the instrument's pipes are housed. You can see it's a very small chamber where the pipes are in close quarters, similar to the boys at night on Company Street, you might say. During the restoration, many of the pipes will be completely refurbished. You can see inside the chamber that the tops of some of the pipes are dramatically impacted. This influences not only the tone of the sound produced by the instrument, but also the tuning of the instrument. It's impossible for it to be in tune when the pipes are mangled in this way. You can see on some of the smaller pipes, the tops are caved in so much that the pipes are almost completely collapsed. In the back of the chamber, the pipes with gold tops are reed pipes. These are some of the most difficult to work with, and incidentally, some of the most bent out of shape. You can see that the scrolls that are used for tuning some of them are quite mangled and in need of repair. You can see the rip in this one in particular. You can also see in the far left gold pipe, the top of the pipe is quite mangled. Pipes like that will be completely reshaped during the restoration. Next, we'll take a trip out to the console of the organ. Right now, the camera is looking through the swell shades into the chapel itself. If you look carefully, you can see the exit sign that leads into the famous sacristy. Because rodents have taken up residence inside the organ on top of the mechanism that controls key movement, many of the keys are now no longer level. On the lowest manual, you can see that the keys fall to different heights because of the weight placed on the trackers inside the organ by the nests left by rodents. This leaves them more liable to break. This key on the end has in fact already broken because its tracker was gnawed through by a rodent. The pedal combination levers that control the stops while the organist is playing are also malfunctioning. The two on the right of the instrument still work. The loud pedal draws on more stops while the organist is playing, and the soft pedal removes them. On the left side of the instrument, however, the two combination pedals are not working. This one simply falls to the ground, and while the far left one attempts to function, it ultimately fails. These pedal combination levers will be fully restored in the renovation of the organ, so that the organist has free use of the stops while playing the more complicated parts of the Mass, like the Creed. This is an example of the sort of thing that might happen during a Mass. In fact, there are many other notes on the top keyboard that will stick if I play them. During Mass, I have to pull them up while playing other notes in order to stop the sound.
Hi, my name is Jeff Dunham. I've been president of the Lake Delaware Alumni Association for the last 15 years, and I'm heading up the fundraising drive for this wonderful, historic Hilborn Roosevelt organ. You've heard in these series of videos about the history of the organ, the vital role it plays in the daily life of Lake Delaware Boys Camp, and by our organist Meg Harper, who showed you the problems that we're having with an organ that's so old and that hasn't been restored in many, many decades. We're hoping that you will generously give to our campaign, so please be on the lookout for a letter from us raising the $86,000 that we need to restore this organ. We've hired a well-known expert in historic organ restoration, Scot Huntington of Connecticut, who will be beginning the work after the 2013 camp season. So please be generous and please help us restore this true, unique treasure to both camp and to the musical world. Thank you.